our next very much awaited session. And this is the stories of Bombay, Mumbai, archipelago to mainland Bombay, a city of dreams. History revisited through storytelling and puppets by Usha Venkatraman. Puppets are natural born storytellers. They can show us elements from a story and help to bring that tale to life before our eyes. Puppets can act as a visual doorway into the storyteller's world of words and even comment or question the tale as it slips from the teller's lips. Let us explore Mumbai's history through stories, songs, and puppets as Usha Venkatraman takes you on a voyage that spans centuries. Usha Venkatraman is a talented and renowned artist who has mastered the art of capturing her audience's attention with her dramatic voiceovers, melodious tunes, lifelike puppets, and witty stories for over 2 decades. Usha, though not traditionally trained in the art of storytelling, brings a unique touch of drama and candor to the stage, which leaves her diverse audience spellbound and speechless. Award-winning storyteller, classical vocalist, puppeteer, and radio show host, Usha Venkatraman is the founder and festival director of Mumbai Storytellers Society, an initiative born out of her zeal to keep the storytelling tradition alive. Usha curated the first science storytelling festivals, Sci Ferry, in 2019 in Mumbai, India. As creative as she has also launched the Storytellers Cafe, a radio show on Bharat FM, a Cincinnati-based radio channel to broadcast live storytelling to the global Indian diaspora. Usha has performed at multiple storytelling festivals across India and the globe. So today, we invite Usha Venkatraman to have the show, the puppet show for us. Usha Venkatraman.
Thank you, Asiatic Society and the team of Jashan-e-Dastan-e Mumbai. It's a pleasure to be here. And I would just like to know, can I see the audience? Would they be visible if I put them on a gallery view? Excuse me, am I audible?
Yes, they could be visible.
Okay.
You can ask the audience to put on their camera.
Okay, that's fine. That's optional as long as they lend me their ears. And if I could request all of you to put yourself on mute after that awesome stand-up comedy, the laughter show with Aditi. I think just sit back and enjoy listening to stories of Mumbai. We've been listening to great historians, authors talking about the history of Mumbai, but the next 45 minutes is going to be something fun, something different, right? So I thank once again the team members, the committee, the organizers of this festival, Jashan-e-Dastan-e Mumbai and Asiatic Library for inviting me. It's indeed an honor. And I hope you enjoy what I'm about to tell you as much as I have enjoyed putting it together. Hello, everybody. I'm Nani. You know, in this lockdown, I've been talking to my granddaughter, Anjali, that you must make time to have some fun. And what better way than to listen to stories of Mumbai? So my granddaughter and I have put together a little covered panel for you. We worked on it and a good friend of ours helped us, and let's begin the story time. You know, friends, Mumbai has been called a city of dreams, a city of gold. But get a little closer and dig a little deeper, you will find that Mumbai is not unlike a Russian doll, matryoshka, babushka, or a nesting doll. Take off one layer and you discover seemingly endless layers beneath, separate, fascinating, and sometimes overlapping. Well, that's what Mumbai is all about, worlds within a world. So many different kinds of people from so many different places, races, and communities have been drawn here over the centuries. Now, all of them call this maximum city their home. Mumbai owes its colorful present to its equally interesting past. Let's go back to circa 6th century. The city was ruled in the 6th and 8th century by the Chalukyas, who left their mark on Elephanta Island. The Valkeshwar temple, I'm going to tell you a story about that, at Malabar Hills, was probably built during the rule of the Shilahara chiefs from the Konkan coast. And the benign presiding influence of goddess Mumba Devi, whose name Mumbabai, Mumba Devi, Mumbai may well have become the city's. But the Portuguese, who were the first invaders, named the city Bom Bahia for its harbor and were the first invaders using the harbor to shelter their merchant ships. And one day, an East India Company saw a vision, a dream of a British Bombay, fortified, defending India's west against all corners, was a notion of such force that it set time in motion. So this is the little card that we have put together for you, which has panels which show the different facets of this maximum city for you. Vallauri nakva ho Vallauri Rama. Vallauri nakva ho Vallauri Rama. मी डोलकर 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 दर्याचा राजा घर पाण्यावरी बंदराला करतो ये जा मी डोलकर 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 दर्याचा राजा. Oh, Nani, that was simply fascinating. Hi, everybody. My name is Anjali, and I'm 7 years old. Sit back and listen to how the Mumbai city was first inhabited by the Koli community, the fishermen. Well, human habitation of Mumbai existed since the Stone Age. The Kolis or the Agri, in Marathi they are known as the fishing community, were the earliest known settlers of the islands. The fishermen were here first. At the dawn of time, Bombay was an archipelago. I'll come to that. It means a group of islands and the sea around them. When the 7 islands, Masgaon, Worli, Matunga, Mahim, Salsette, and Colaba, were islands, or they were known as the Isle of Bombay, Colaba, Old Woman's Island, or Little Colaba, Mahim, Masgaon, Parel, Worli. The nearby islands of Trombay and Salsette were merged to form Greater Bombay. When the land was reclaimed, Bombay became a mainland. But in this primeval primeval world before clock towers, the fishermen who were called coolies sailed their Arab doors or the boats, spreading red sails against the setting sun. The coolies were an aboriginal tribe of fishermen. They were the earliest known inhabitants of present day Mumbai. The city was a center of maritime trade with Persia and Egypt. It was part of the Emperor Ashoka's empire in the 3rd century BCE. And in the 2nd century, it was known as Heptanasia to Ptolemy, the ancient Egyptian astronomer and geographer of Greek descent. So, friends, for over 500 years, the Koli fishing communities have been living and working along the coastal waters of the 7 islands that made up the present city of Mumbai. Now, I want to give you another interesting trivia about the Kolis. When East India Company was set up, now let me tell you, Mumbai owes its colorful present to an equally interesting past. The English arrived in the early 17th century, and the Portuguese, who were the first invaders, handed over the city in 1661 as part of dowry to King Charles II when he wed his Portuguese consort, Catherine of Braganza. But the king didn't want the trouble of ruling this far off city. So it was leased to the East India Company for £10. Yes, £10 of gold a year, and soon the city expanded. In 1687, the company made Bombay their Indian headquarters, and within a century, it had become the gateway to India. So there is a very interesting museum. Let me come to that. The East Indians have a unique way of living, and there is a museum dedicated to them that shows how through the years they have lived, especially the Mumbai East Indians. If you're someone who'd like to know more about their history and their contribution to the Indian independence struggle, then all you got to do is head to the East Indian Museum in Manori. Yes, called the Kaka Baptista East Indian Museum. This villa turned into a museum has the East Indian elements. The locals have contributed clothes, household items, artifacts, and more to make this museum what it is. It is believed that Kaka Baptista, also known as Joseph Baptista, was the man who coined Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. He was also Lokmanya Tilak's lawyer and contributed immensely to India's fight for freedom. So this is how the fishermen, the Koli fishermen, they look. You can see them early, just at sunrise at Sassoon Dock, even today. And where they go to catch fish, and then, of course, they sell them. Well, I would like to take you to South Mumbai, to the plush Malabar Hills, because our next story comes from there. It is the Banganga tank or the Valkeshwar temple. Yes, Anjali and my friends, are you ready to listen to this story? It's a very interesting one. So sit back and learn a bit more about the Banganga tank. Mumbai, as you know, friends, is a city of contrasts, as well as a city of dreams. A city where white-collared professionals rub shoulders with dabbawalas on the local trains, Auto rickshaws jostle with swanky cars on the roads. Heritage buildings cling on for space and relevance amid the vast expanding sea of modern skyscrapers. But there is one place in particular that elicits a kind of rustic, spiritual calm. We are talking about the Banganga tank, a little piece of history and culture ensconced by a string of high-rise luxury apartments in the Mumbai's exclusive Malabar Hill area. Often known as the mini Banaras of Mumbai, this freshwater tank, along with the neighboring Valkeshwar temple, was built in 1127 by Lakshman Prabhu, a Gaud Saraswat Brahmin who was a minister in the court of the Shilhara dynasty of Thane. Now, it holds great, immense mythological significance among the Hindus. It is believed that Lord Rama, was so desperate, devastated, deranged when Sita was abducted by Ravan. He did not know that she had been abducted by Ravan. And later, when he met the great eagle bird Jatayu, he got to know that Ravan, the 10-headed demon, had indeed abducted Sita. So while they walked through the Dandaka forest southwards before they reached Kishkinda, Lord Rama was on his way to Lanka. That is what is believed. So maybe perhaps after meeting Hanuman or before meeting Hanuman, I'm not very sure. He paused at this spot to pray to Lord Shiva, the three-eyed creator and destroyer, to help him find his wife Sita, who had been kidnapped by the 10-headed demon Ravana. To do so, you have to pray. Nothing comes easy, my friends. You all know that. So he created a Shivaling from sand, which came to be known as Valuka Ishwar, meaning an idol made of sand in Sanskrit, thus lending the temple its name. When Rama was thirsty and tired, he asked his brother Lakshman for a drink of water. And Lakshman promptly shot an arrow into the ground, which resulted in a spurt of fresh water. So it is believed that this water came from a tributary of Ganga, and the spot was hence named Ban Ganga. Ban means arrow in Hindi. Ban Ganga. It's a beautiful place in Mumbai. I have attended many concerts, the Banganga festival, which used to take place regularly, sometime in the winter months. And it used to be beautiful with musicians singing and their music resounding, resonating in that tank and the surroundings. The banks of this talab is dotted with small temples, shrines, and huts. A pole emerges. Believe me, you can go and check it for yourself, upright from its mossy waters, marking the point where Lakshman's arrow hit the ground. So that was about Banganga. So centuries since the Banganga and its vicinity was built, with its unique sights, sounds, and aromas, still harkens back to a simpler, quieter time and remains a great spot to escape the city's usual cacophony. You can go there for some peace and quiet. Oh, Nani, that was a wonderful story. I love Ram and Lakshman and all their exploits. What are you going to tell us next? Anjali, have patience, my child. Next, let's go back to history. That was about 100 years ago, perhaps a little more. And let me tell you about the Rajabai Clock Tower. Here, friends, take a look at the picture here. You have the Rajabai Clock Tower here. So it's a very important landmark in the city of Mumbai. It's a famous clock tower located in South Mumbai. It stands in the Mumbai University campus. I remember I had my graduation in the campus. I don't recall whether I got my degree certificate. I think I must have. And like I said, it stands in the Mumbai University Fort campus, located next to the High Court. The tower is undoubtedly an example of exquisite beauty. It has become one of the major tourist attractions in Mumbai. Well, it has a history and a story to it. Premchand Roychand was an affluent broker who founded the Bombay Stock Exchange. He was also known as the Cotton King. Premchand Roychand, he financed Rajabai Clock Tower. He agreed to fund it, to fund the construction of the tower. After the monument was built, the total cost was estimated to be about 2 lakhs, which was an enormous amount in those days. And he was, like I said, the original founder of the modern day Bombay Stock Exchange Limited. Now, the Rajabai Clock Tower was designed by Sir George Gilbert Scott on the lines of London's Big Ben, and built, it took him 9 years, and for a staggering amount of 5,50,000. That was the cost of building the Rajabai Clock Tower. Now, the interesting story behind it is named after Roy Chand's blind mother, Rajabai. Now, Rajabai was a staunch Jain, as the Premchand's family was a strict follower of Jainism. His mother took her dinner before evening, and the evening bell of the tower assisted her in determining the time without anyone's help. I always believed that Indian women were very resilient and empowered. They don't want to be dependent on others. Like Aditi told us, she is self sufficient and she can completely take care of herself. And I think women can, especially the Mumbaikars. So Rajabai, Premchand's blind mother, would take her dinner because the gong would go, and she knew that it was just 6 p.m. in the evening. And hence the Rajabai Clock Tower was built and named after his mother, Rajabai. Now, let me tell you a little more about the architecture and the construction of this wonderful edifice. Rajabai Tower has been held high for its astounding architecture. It offers a wonderful view of, it is actually, it offers the viewers, it also offers a beautiful view of Mumbai if you're allowed to go up to the clock tower, but not anymore. And it is a blend of Venetian and Gothic styles of architecture. So the stained glass windows, which are very beautiful, are among its best features and are often considered the best in the city. You know, the tower assumes the shape of an octagon. The tunes of Rule Britannia, God Save the King, Home Sweet Home, and a Handel symphony were among the 16 tunes which were played in during the British era. The tunes were changed 4 times a day. However, today only one tune is played once in every 15 minutes. Also, like I said, the tower was closed to the public after several reports of accidents. Rajabai Tower has made its place in the history of India. It was the tallest edifice when it was built. Hence, it has been a prized possession of Mumbai as well as the country. Perhaps in the daily mad rush in this maximum city, not many Mumbaikars pay attention to the 16 odd timekeepers of the city, some of them centuries old. They are not the so mute witnesses to history. They have actually seen history unfold, clanging away at intervals of 15 minutes as if asking us all to grab the moment before time was slipping by. So, friends, in this COVID time, please take some time to visit these wonderful, wonderful places in Mumbai and take some time to pause and look at them and get to know each and every little place in this maximum city. Perhaps in the daily mad rush, not many Mumbaikars pay attention to. There are 16 odd timekeepers. Some of them are centuries old, but they have seen dramatic changes as Mumbai evolved from a conglomeration of fishing villages into a metropolis, a modern global financial center, accommodating 17 million that often appears to come asunder as it seems. I think the count is more today. Maybe, maybe not, since the laborers have left the city. Well, after the story of Premchand Roychand and his mother, Rajabai, let's move to another important frontliner. They are the frontliners of Mumbai city. I come to the next part of my story as Anjali loves them, the dabbawalas. There you go. The dabbawalas, dressed in the white outfit and traditional Gandhi cap, the Mumbai army of 5,000 dabbawalas, fulfilling the hunger of almost 2 lakh Mumbaikars with home cooked food that is lugged between home and office daily. For more than a century, these dabbawalas have been part of this grime-ridden metropolis of dreams. Can you see the dabbawala carting so many dabbas in their ubiquitous cycle? Yes. Now let me tell you a bit about the dabbawalas. About 125 years back, a Parsi banker wanted to have home cooked food in his office and gave this responsibility to the first ever dabbawala. Many people liked the idea, and the demand for dabba delivery soared. It was all informal and individual effort in the beginning, but visionary Mahadev Havji Bachche, I hope I got the name right, he saw the opportunity and started the lunch delivery service in its present team delivery format with just 100 dabbawalas. Today, we have more than that, 5,000 dabbawalas, if I'm not mistaken. As the city grew, the demand for dabba delivery grew too. Now they have a unique coding system was created by their forefather. It is still prominent in the 21st century. Initially, it was a simple color coding, but now since Mumbai is widely spread metro with three local train routes, the suburban, the central, and the western, their coding has also evolved into alphanumeric characters. The 5,000 odd dabbawalas in the city have an astounding service record. Every working day, they transport more than 130,000 lunch boxes throughout the city of Mumbai, the world's fourth largest, most populous city. This entails conducting upwards 260,000 transactions in 6 hours each day, 6 days a week, and 52 weeks a year, minus a few holidays. But mistakes are extremely rare. Amazingly, the dabbawalas, who are semi-literate, workers largely manage themselves, have achieved that level of performance at very low cost in an eco-friendly way because they don't leave any carbon footprints. They use the bicycle without the use of any IT system or even cell phones. The Dabbawala service is legendary for its reliability. Since it was founded in 1890, it has endured famines, wars, monsoons, Hindu-Muslim riots, and a series of terrorist attacks. It has also attracted worldwide attention and visits by Prince Charles, Richard Branson, and employees of the Federal Express, a company renowned for its mastery of logistics. How can a poorly educated, decentralized workforce perform so beautifully in an environment that can charitably be described as unpredictable and challenging? Yes, we are talking about Mumbai. The answers hold lessons not only for companies seeking to expand in emerging markets, but also for all developed economy enterprises whose ranks are dominated by unexceptional talent. So I believe Harvard Business School has done a study on the Dabbawala service. The Dabbawala success is proof that with the right system in place, ordinary workers can achieve extraordinary results. I happened to talk to a Dabbawala in this locked time, in this COVID time, and they have been without job for 8 months. But they're resilient, you see, and they have been doing something or the other to keep their families going. So they have been operating pan Mumbai from Virar to Churchgate and from Ambernath to Dadar. It's not as simple as it sounds. They had to battle with time, weather, but their emotional satisfaction and happiness comes because they firmly believe in the philosophy that Annadan is Mahadan. Donating food is the best charity. I believe they are never ever late. They are always on time. Isn't it interesting to know how they perform their task? Isn't it interesting to know how they plan their day? It would be a golden experience just to understand their coding system and the accuracy behind it. They get inquiries from global companies and management schools just to understand this mechanism behind the Six Sigma certification. So you might like to check more on this. And that is why I believe Prince Charles and Richard Branson accompanied the Dabbawalas during their course of delivery, and timelines is very crucial for them. The whole city can be affected by late deliveries. So they are known for their reliability since it was founded in 1890. So friends, That was about the ever reliable dabbawala service, the frontliners of Mumbai. Let's doff our hat to such wonderful, wonderful people. Well, Mumbai city is so big. There is so much to talk about. Right, Usha? That's right. But I'm going to talk about another frontliner of Mumbai, the Mumbai's Bais or the maids, right? They are the backbone of every house. So, friends, this was something I wrote in 2005 after the floods, the July floods of 2005. It was a salute to the Mumbai's ubiquitous bais. So I'm just going to read this out for you. It's a very interesting story in itself. The recent floods in 2005 wreaked havoc in the lives of the millions of Mumbaikars. The floods did not spare my own housemaid, Bai. Her name was Ranjana, and she lived in the suburbs. She used to work the whole day in the Dadar area, as I live in Shivaji Park, and doing various odd jobs at a number of houses. She used to toil the whole day to earn a decent living, salary to support her family. The recent floods of July washed away all her belongings in her house: fridge, TV, gas stove, clothes, etc. All that she had collected over a period of time. Everything washed away in that Tuesday deluge. She reported for work. So this could be Ranjana or Chitra. Can you see the Mumbai Bais? They are so meticulously dressed neatly, either in the salwar kameez or in a sari, hair in a bun with a little gajra around their hair. They look like smart working women. Well, in the case of Ranjana, she reported for work after a couple of days, and we were wondering how she had fared in the floods. With the same cheerful countenance and a stoic acceptance of her fate, she told us matter of factly that she will collect all her lost items again. Of course, her employers and I, we did help her financially. Some gave their second-hand TVs, etc. What I admired most in her was her indefatigable attitude. Nothing could put her down and shake her confidence. Our Mumbai Bais are made of this stuff, my friends. I'm sure you'll agree with me. Ever cheerful, dressed impeccably in with their oiled hair, sporting the ever-present gajra. Our bais are always projecting a cheerful face against any odds. My maid present, not Ranjana, a lovely young woman called Chitra, is ever smiling. I might lose my temper with her, but she is quiet, silent, watching me and asking me, "What's all the fuss about? Calm down, take a deep breath, drink a glass of water, and then let's talk." I salute the Mumbai Bais. They are powerful women who call upon their latent strength to the fore to meet such calamities in life. We have a lot to learn from them, my friends. The indefatigable attitude of the Mumbai Bais has always impressed me, and I'm sure you all would agree with me. I remember Shabana Azmi speaking up for her housemaid in Arth, in the movie Arth, in the early 80s. and today's Shirley Valentine play by Mehbanu Modi Kotwal, I'm talking about 2005 and 6, salutes the spirit of women. Come on, Mumbaikars, rise up and bow to these women of courage. As I was doing a little bit research on the Mumbai buys, a dear friend of mine who is a corporate bigwig, a partner in a multinational firm, she used this one word. She called the maids and cooks as enablers. And she said, I cannot live without them as I travel extensively and they are my lifeline. So I think that sums up that we cannot live without our maids. There is so much more also to talk about Mumbai, but I'm not going into it. But let me call Nani here, and she can just tell you a 2-3 line about the world's largest human powered laundromat. Sprawling across acres in the bustling South Mumbai, the iconic Dhobi Ghat is most known for being the world's largest open air laundry system. Did you know that, my friends? 7,000 dhobis work a combined 20 hours per day, sorting, scrubbing, bleaching, drying, and iron pressing clothes from around the city to bring in a revenue of 1 billion rupees a year. Wow, isn't that simply marvelous, my friends? It is indeed a marvel. These are the frontliners of Mumbai. I know you've heard the history of Mumbai from many of the speakers yesterday and today. But I specifically wanted to talk to you and tell the story of these frontliners. So, my friends, I would like to sing this song dedicated. And I remember Johnny Walker singing this song in the early 50s, which so aptly describes Mumbai. ए दिल है मुश्किल जीना यहाँ जरा हटके जरा बच के ये है बम्बई मेरी जान ए दिल है मुश्किल जीना यहाँ जरा हटके जरा बच के ये है बम्बई मेरी जान कहीं बिल्डिंग कहीं ट्रामे कहीं मोटर कहीं मिलता है यहाँ सब कुछ एक मिलता नहीं दिल इंसान का नहीं कहीं नामो निशान जरा हटके जरा बच के ये है बम्बई मेरी जान. But I would like to end it like ए दिल है आसान जीना यहाँ सुनो मिस्टर सुनो बंधु ये है मुंबई मेरी जान ए दिल है आसान जीना यहाँ सुनो मिस्टर सुनो बंधु ये है बम्बई मेरी जान. So with that I kind of rest my story here, and I would like to ask the viewers if they have any questions, and we could have a little conversation going. So can the whoever is handling the host, can you check with the people whether they have any questions? Okay, I can see Rama Bishnoi. I love the easy, unhurried pace you use and yet narrate so much a beautiful session. Okay, thank you so much, Rama Bishnoi, for that. Anything else that you would like to ask me? And also over the last 2 weeks, I've been preparing some songs. So if you would like to listen to the songs, then I would like to share the songs with you. So the songs are one was "Ae Dil Hai Mushkil." The other one was, sung by Uma Pocha, I guess early 70s or 80s, which was wonderful. Sorry, is there a question for me? Shen? Okay. So would you like to listen to this song? Maybe some of you have not heard this. I did post it on my Instagram handle. And well, it is Uma Pocha's, I would say, an epic song. Come from England, come from Scotland, come from Ireland, come from Holland, come from Poland, come from any land. If you're looking out for a pleasant holiday, come to Bombay, come to Bombay, Bombay Meri hai. Hi, bom, 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Bom, 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Our ladies are nice and gents are full of spice. Bom, 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 Bombay, hooray. Wear a dhoti, put a topi and a small coatie. Mini or bikini is so good for you, honey. If you ain't so gay, then you can live the sadhu way. Come to Bombay, come to Bombay, Bombay Meri hai. Hey, bom, 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Bom, 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Our ladies are nice and gents are full of spice. Bom, 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 Bombay, hooray. Puri bhaji bhel puri, you can try and tell. Idli dosa, hot samosa, you will like to well. Once you come and stay, then you won't like to go away. Come to Bombay, come to Bombay, Bombay Meri hai. Hi, bom 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Bom 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 bom. Bombay Meri hai. Ladies are nice and gents are full of spice. Bom 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 Bombay, hooray. Hey, bom 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 bom. Well, I think that sums up about our city. Isn't
Um,
a beautiful?
may I intervene? This is Vispi Balaporia.
Yes,
First
please.
of all, lovely singing voice. It's a pleasure hearing you. And for such a positive presentation about the city. I had put up a little question in the chat box, but maybe I can just repeat it.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
We're talking about the dhobis, which of course we all relied on in the past. My question was whether washing machines that have come into most middle class homes have, in a sense, replaced the dhobi of old.
Um, I really don't think so, Wispy, because my personal experience is you'd have to sort the clothes, which they also do. Some of them run color, some of them might shrink, some of them just need a gentle rinse. So when you have maybe not so nuclear family, a large family, I still think many people, especially in South Mumbai, still rely on the dhobis who take their clothes to the dhobi ghat. Well, I personally, no. Of course, I do give it to the laundromat, not the dhobi ghat laundromat, not the human ones, but to the laundromats, laundries that are there in the Mumbai city. So I don't know if I have answered your question. Maybe somebody else in the audience could answer you because
Yeah.
it's what
Anyway,
is their experience.
yeah.
Anybody wants to answer Wispy here? Any other question, Wispy? You said you had two questions.
No, I had just that one question. The other was your singing voice, I said. was
Okay.
here,
Yeah.
brought the whole session to a very musical conclusion. And
Yes, I wanted to also, oh,
I think
somebody
someone
wants to answer
else,
you. Somebody wants to answer Wispy. Please go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
I think the host would have to unmute the
Yeah,
person.
yeah. The
Who is the person wanting to speak? I'll just unmute.
AS. I can see AS.
I think it's Jaru Barucha.
Okay, asked to unmute. Yes, please unmute.
Yeah, hi. As far hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I just as far as the Dobis are concerned, I just my only input is that I don't think so. They would actually replace the they could replace, yes, the washing machines could replace the Dobis, but actually if you actually look at it, Dobis are also reinventing themselves by using machines today. And if you look at the um, entire way this Bombay enterprises have evolved, the Dobis are actually the backbone of this entire small entrepreneur. The smaller restaurants, the saloons, when I have given my clothes to them for institutional linen, for a lot of other small enterprises which are not catered by a lot of these laundromats at a price point. So the most important thing is at a price point, at a convenience, and also to some extent, yes, hygiene. Can always debate the question of hygiene, but do we need that? Is that hygiene demanded by the customers? That is also a secondary question, because if you actually look at what price point is, at what hygiene is demanded, and I think the Dobis are satisfying a certain price point, they are satisfying a certain service level, and that's why they are being existing for last 100 and odd years. And if the washing machines have come only in the houses, they have not really come in the saloons, the smaller restaurants. They still need somebody to service them. So I think they are very important part, and in some way, if we can actually help them modernize in at that price point, they I think the government, or not just the government, but the entire small enterprises should actually support these backbone of this. It's good to modernize and have machines, but the machines can come to these people and they can be given a more hygienic place. They are, the places could be improved, but they don't need to be substituted. They can be supported, and
Yeah,
so that is
and
my.
I think they are holding their own. Like if you see the dabbawalas, they told me in spite of having all these Swiggies, Uber Eats, and your all the other startup companies that do deliver food to your homes, but dabbawalas still hold their own. Nothing can replace because they do transport homemade food from the house to the office. So
Yes,
I guess these frontliners do hold their place today, in spite of all the latest technology and the new apps that have come into the market.
and actually, if you look at a very interesting point now, US is going for home chefs. You have these apps and online service. They are actually encouraging home chefs. They are encouraging the same systems that we have been kind of existing, and we in some way are not providing the support systems to help them survive in this new. That's my only point with the Dobis. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful. Anything else? We just have another 5 minutes. If you want to ask, I just wanted to share this that I created this little coward of Mumbai. Coward is this little paneled, if you can see, it's a panel which opens, and it is from Rajasthan. Uh, and each panel will show you pictures. So this is beautifully done by a young girl, uh, digital art by Ananya Guha. And this whole thing was designed, and the watercolor art that you see of, Marine Drive and the Worli Sea Face link is done by Hema Subramanian. She is also one of the co-founders of Mumbai Storytellers Society. And this was actually conceptualized by me, but executed by Hema. and beautifully done by this young girl who is in the 11th standard, who has digitalized these pictures. And then it was quickly printed by a printer, and they put the Gateway of India. So I just wanted to bring that. And also the little puppets that I've used is actually made by these women in Jaipur. I always engage them. This also gives them a livelihood. They are actually the Jaipur Art Craft Kit, Jaipur Art Craft organization, and they have little kits. Usually they make a nice little paperback puppet and give it to me. But this time, I think due to pandemic, everybody is not there. And so from what I had asked them, they could create these little figures, which nevertheless, I think they've done a brilliant job of it. And I would like you all to appreciate, because, and these paperback puppets were created by the same Jaipur art people, you know. So you see Sita here, and she is actually a paper bag puppet. So I would like to make a special mention about these people who have helped me to put this together. Again, there is a question, where can we get these paperback puppets? It is Jaipur, it's a Jaipur art craft. I think they have a Facebook page also. If you can, you know, check on that, you will find that. So they, and this is also creating an employment job for these people. So I usually engage them and ask them to customize puppets when I need to tell stories. So, but these are my very old puppets, Nanis, made by my dear friend, I think Sangeeta Lula. I don't know if you're watching. Sangeeta, thank you so much for creating this wonderful little grandmother and giving her these glasses and, you know, so characterizing the character. So that's my Nani. So thank you once again, Asiatic Society, for inviting me to be part of Jashan-e-Dastan-e Mumbai. I've really enjoyed myself getting to know our maximum city.
Thank you so much, Usha Venkatraman, for such a beautiful and mesmerizing performance. It was such a lively session, right from using the beautiful puppets and props and the songs you sang and other fascinating facts like Ptolemy's Athanasia or 16 timekeepers or the other fascinating stories of the Rajabai Tower, dabbawalas, and also the bais that we probably don't really talk about otherwise. Was it was also such a feast for the eyes, ears, and also mind. Thank you for presenting us the history of Mumbai yet again in one of the most creative and interesting ways. Thanks a lot. Is there any other questions from the? Okay, I think we'll end the session here. Thank you so much again. So this is the end of the session, and here we go for another break for an hour.